So, as you can see, this is a thumbnail, a picture I've shown many times. His name is Roy Moore. The person next to him is Colbert. We're all familiar with him. Now, the reason why I keep bringing that up is because this is a man who's allegedly was like picking up kids when he was like a 35-year-old assistant DA. Now, what's happening to me right now is you are surrounded by people, and not only surrounded by people you interact with are trying to make you accept this false reality. I'm currently, at the end of the day, I'm a man, and I do want to be dating, and and isolation is not the worst. Is the worst things that you can do. But when I'm not isolating, I am interacting with perps, and those perps are trying to make you accept this falsified reality. Reality. Right now, I'm talking to this perp, and they're trying to make her be credible to me, but she's not. I see her for what she is. I truly do see her for what she is in every sense. For example, she's trying to make me believe things that aren't true, and she's like, we are at war. She's trying to play this radical person, like you are false, you are a fraud for even trying to make me believe these things. I know what you guys do, I know what you guys are part of, and I know that reality for you guys is manipulated. It's not real. You create a false reality and then try to make people subscribe to this false reality. What I'm saying that is because these people have been trying to make themselves all kind of people, try to make themselves like feminists, try to make themselves radical protectors and fighting against pedophilia, when in reality they work for pedophiles. There's issues with pedophilia in these agencies, and she knows that. She knows that pedophilia has been used to break people down, and that's what they're doing with me. They try to make me accept these pedophilia things that obviously I know is not true. And like I remember talking to her, like I get on the phone with her, she's like, "Oh, you're so sick. You're so sick." It's like you are trash for even trying to make me think that this is naturally my thoughts. I'm sick in different ways because one, you're making me physically sick, and mentally, you're making me think of these disgusting things. You know, this technology does that. You guys are not here assessing or analyzing my brain. You are manipulating my brain to think these ways. And your job is to make me accept these things as if it's me. But what's happening now too is also they try to make me like subscribe to these people who are in a program that force people to think in these peripheral ways, these disgusting ways. And I'm saying this on purpose because this transgender woman I've shown before many times, Jackie, may she rest in peace. She's no longer with us. She's dead. Has said that they forced them to force her to have these disgusting peripheral ways of thinking, which is what this program does. And they want me to look at them and say, "Oh no, we're different. We are assessing, we're analyzing, we're at war. You're not at war. This is a human experimentation, which you're part of, regardless of whatever part on the side you're in this organization." Like they use this facade, which you think I'm going to subscribe to. No, right now, when you do these things to me, you're part of this intelligence agencies that manipulate people to think this way. You know that. And I know you know that. I don't even want you like I know they know that exactly. They not even try to they call it being at war. The same person they try to make me think of her of somebody I should think of in a natural in a way that is like I should believe to what she says. There's many times they've tried to make me believe in false reality, false narratives. You know, they're trying to make me believe that I'm a Roy Moore, meaning that I'm into like underage kids, right? That's me. That's what I'm into. That's why that stimulates me. That's why I'm. It's falsified as it gets. I remember one time, and they bring random things and try to be like, oh, whoever they can make me imagine them as underage, they will try to make me think this way. It's not even if people I have sex with, the people. It's people, random people I've seen and looked at. And it's like you looked at them as if they were adults. They weren't adults. You're wrong about seeing them as adults. There's this time I was waiting for my Uber, and I talked about it many times. I was outside my apartment. I was about 29 years old at the time. I see these younger adults. In my eyes, I give her maybe 21 years old, 20 years old, maybe 22. She's walking around I lived at the time. I lived in this area where it's very. The best way to describe it is like hipster. There's a lot of coffee shops, bars, and restaurants. That's the kind of place I used to live. I see her walk around. I'm looking at her. She has like somewhat of like short hair, and she has like a long mesh on the side. And I see her. She's walking around. It looks like a typical hipster person that lives in the neighborhood or in the area. She walks around and she looks at the post and whatever. And I'm like, okay, she's not bad looking, but I think she's like typical hipster, early 20s, maybe 22, 23 years old, based on what I'm looking at, you know. And I'm seeing her, and she's like, and that's that, right? And never talk to her. Just see her walk, continue to walk around, and that's that. I'm waiting for my Uber. My Uber comes there, and I take my Uber. Now they want me to imagine this person to be an underage person. I will never know what she actually is, but they want me to imagine her as that. Like, you're just attracted. Like, no, but listen, she looked like an adult, a young adult, and she looked like the people that lived in my area. It's like, no, we assess based on that. That means when you do the perfect application, it's you. No, first of all, she most likely she's an adult. I know she's an adult. I don't feel doubtful about that. But they want me to imagine her as an underage. And so now what they try to do is they try to bring up people in my life right now. Purpose. 100% purpose. I see her as a purpose. The day I started talking to her, I saw her as a perp, and she was trying to get me to see her as somebody who's not like logical. No, no, no. You are perp. This person lives in a different city, but comes here and we ended up hanging out. I know that she is a perp. She's here to make me subscribe to these things, and she stayed with me for a few days. And then what happened is like, okay, like I know she's a perp, but because I do enjoy being around women, it makes me vulnerable in the sense that I interact with them and they try to make me like, but I see them for what they are. You want me to accept this false reality? That's not true. I'm not subscribing to it. And this person is trying to be this radical, progressive individual, radical. Like, no, you're not. You're working for these entities, agencies related, intelligence community agencies. And so I remember sitting there outside with her. I see people outside, like in from my balcony. I can see on the other side of the balcony this person doing something to somebody else. And I'm like, I can't tell. It's like either she's very young looking or either she's very old looking. Like either she look like a 50 something, 60-year old, or she's a very young person. And I ask the person next to me who's a perp. I know she's a perp. And it's like, how old do you think she is? I was like, oh, she's very young, maybe. And I know that she obviously know what's going on next door because this is all orchestrated. She's really young. She's like, yeah. And I look at her, I was like, yeah, she is really young. But actually, I think instead of be looking like she's very like 10, 12, between 10 and 12 years old, maybe 13 max. I looked at her. I was like, yeah, it's funny how they like these young people. They sometimes look these very young children, like these children look like sometimes they do look older people because the way you shape. Like I feel like when you get older, you start looking like a child. And she's like, yeah, it's funny how like she kind of look like very old. And it's like, oh, you see, she was being honest there. So and then she starts saying, oh, this person is underage. Now I don't know who she's talking about, but now they're bringing back these moments when I was waiting for this Uber at this in this place in the city, not in this city but in different city. Now you see she's saying about this person. It's like no, she's whatever she's saying. I know it's falsified. I knew all along that this person was a perp, and when the more I interact with her, she's like, she's like, oh, you're so sick. And I know what she's saying sick because my body physically, I'm being weakened. Like my body's being sick. But I think she's trying to talk about the mental, this manipulation, this pedophilia manipulations, where they make me think this disturbing pedophilia ways, this disturbing ways of thinking, which is manipulated by this technology. And she wants me to subscribe to this. And it's like she's standing. She's like, no, 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 no. What she's doing right now is she's trying to make me accept this pedophilia ways of thinking. I know she's a perp. She calls it being a war. She wants me to think this pedophilia ways are naturally happening. So she's trying to make me think any ways possible that anybody that they can make me think as an underage, they're gonna make me think of as underage. So when do this pedophilia type of torture, it can be like, that's proof. Like, no, you see that person I was waiting for the Uber? She's an adult. She's a young adult, but she's an adult. You want me to think of her as underage? You made me think of other people much more older than her as underage. That's her job. And I remember her saying she's underage. It's like she felt uncomfortable saying that. I was like, yeah, I know. You want me to subscribe to this BS? I'm not subscribing to it. Not only she's an adult, but how retarded do you think I'm going to be? First of all, this person, I never even interacted with this person. They want you to subscribe to these manipulations and to this false reality. And I see her as that. So to all my target individuals, do not accept this false reality. I say that. Let me say that out loud. That person that they want me to think she's underage. Let me give her age. I'll give her between 21 years old and 22 years old. She's an adult, and I'm sure of that. Now, can you imagine me? Make me imagine her as underage? Of course you can. Everybody around me are gonna try to make me subscribe to it. You know what they're saying to try to counter this reality? Or they're gonna rape you. They can't even say Roy Moore. This man you see. Yes, they're gonna rape me, and no, I'm not gonna subscribe to this false narrative because there's reality and you try to counter reality. You are not this false facade. You are people who work for pedophiles who wants people to subscribe to this perfect type of torture. Because what's happening now is they're forcing me to have stimulation to children of all ages. And there's probably kids right now. And she said something. She sent me a date of she wanted me to come to her place around the 16th or like the 16 years old. I don't know who this show's talking about. Probably people who are gonna frame me, and they're probably like 16 years old. You understand? These people are full of BS, and they use the torture that you're gonna experience as if it's reality. Somebody said they're gonna cut your tongue. It's like, okay, cut my tongue, but before you cut my tongue, let me say something. Roy Moore, can you say that? No, you can't, but you dared, right? Say Roy Moore and dares to say his name. No, you didn't. No, you don't dare. You know better. What you're doing to me is what you can do to me because people who put me in this program sponsor a pedophile, an actual pedophile, not these BS things you try to put together, these bullshit stories with your narrations using perps and manipulation of all sorts. There's a real world and there's a world that you're trying to create. The real world is an escapism. It's not is what you're trying to escape from. The real world is that you work for pedophiles with actual pedophilia issues. This falsified world is where you try to make people subscribe to these pedophilia ways. And you try to create yourself as something that you're not. To all my target individuals, do not subscribe to these bottom feeders. These people are trying to get you to accept these pedophilia ways. They are pedos. This low life trash. Coward. Trash. Working for pedos. Wanting you to accept these pedophilia ways. Regardless of what warnings they tell you. You're gonna get raped, tortured. They tell me my tongue is gonna be cut up. Okay. Before my tongue is cut out, let me say this. Roy Moore. The theater I'm gonna endure is the theater because I call it theater because it's a false reality that they're gonna try to create and make me accept, and on top of that, they're gonna torture me to accept this false reality. They are trash, cowards, and lowlifes, and frauds that will be reimbursed properly. So to all my entire target individuals, stay strong. These mean people have been mean to men, women, and children, torturing them in different ways, and working for peddlers I know who put me in this program. I know why they can't say Roy Moore, and I know that they will try to make me subscribe to this bullshit, to this BS, and stay strong.